Hi, I'm Greg. I'm the lead singer for Lipstick Generation.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm the bassist. And why are you stepping all over my lines by going first in a Smashing Pumpkins episode, Greg?
Because we haven't done one of these in like a year, so I forgot how these go.
How dare you, sir? Anyway, yeah, we're talking about the Smashing Pumpkins today, joined as ever by luminaries. Introduce yourself as I say your name, Gavin.
Gavin. Yeah, hey.
Okay, good.
Oh, no, hey, it's me. You've heard me before, probably.
This intro is not a train wreck.
Well, we're all rusty. It's been,
I keep forgetting whenever I actually do the intro, it's a train wreck. Anyway, so we're also joined by Victor.
Hey, if you can believe it, I made it. I made some time in my schedule to be on the lipstick panel.
Yay! You had a very busy day of being hungover on planned.
Yes, it's true. Although, honestly, I've pretty much gotten that out of the way, so I'm pleased to announce.
Schedule's cleared up.
Yeah.
And speaking of cleared up, we're also joined by Julia.
Gavin.
Oh, I didn't realize you guys were the same Pokemon species.
Yeah. Can't you see the resemblance?
Anyway, today we're talking about Oceania, that Smashing Pumpkins album that I'm sure you've heard of.
What year did it come out?
Even listened to. I don't know.
I thought it was
that
14.
sounds right.
What's the backstory behind this album, Steve?
Well, at this point, I think Billy Corgan was still in the middle of his, I wrote 50 songs about the Tarot cycle, and now I'm going to do a series of albums about it thing, well, as he was in a band called the Smashing Pumpkins with no other Smashing Pumpkins. And he released an album, and it was, I think, generally ignored.
Yeah, this is the only band I can think of in existence where there's only one original member. That's never happened with any other band.
Right? Who does that? I mean, there are bands with no original members, I guess.
No, that was me being facetious. To me, Billy Corgan is Smashing Pumpkins. He's the guy. Like, it's not like we were being flooded with Jimmy Chamberlain songs and Darcy songs in the catalog.
Well,
I mean,
but
Billy agrees with you, but he's also an asshole, so.
I mean, this is true.
And everyone knows if you're an asshole, you're wrong.
And if you're an asshole, you're a great artist.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
true.
also, yeah. So really, this is a great album by a great artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Finally, you understand.
So for people who don't remember how the podcast goes, including most of us who are on the podcast, an episode forever, we like to go around and talk about everyone's history with the band and the album in particular. So, Greg, you want to go first? And then take over, like, running the podcast, because I have gotten better at it over hiatus.
I expect you to be, working out, getting your podcast reps in, getting up early in the morning, drinking some raw eggs, and then practicing introducing the podcast.
Remember how, like, I don't sound very good and you're doing all the recording on this episode because I don't have a single XLR cable in my house?
You haven't been itching to do a podcast? Okay, so my history with the Smashing Pumpkins is that I grew up in the 90s and thought the Smashing Pumpkins was terrible. And then I got a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and realized that they were actually mostly pretty good. And I listened to all of the albums except for the latest one. And this was part of a binge that I did where I felt like skipping ahead and listening to albums that we hadn't gotten to in the podcast for spoiler purposes. And when I listened to it then, I'm like, yeah, this album is fine. It sounds like the Smashing Pumpkins. It's got good guitar tone. It's got the vocals appropriately mixed, some nice harmonies. This seems fine. But there was a problem, is that I had it on as background music. And so when in a swath of a Pumpkins marathon, it was not noticeably an issue, but upon re-listening to the album critically, it's hella boring. And the songs aren't memorable. The best songs on the album are like a C+. And so there's no standout tracks. Everything is just okay. And it's not that it's bad. It's not that anything on here I think is out and out terrible, which actually, no, there is one on here that is out and out terrible. But I don't think that this is like, it's all just so okay and not very hooky. And also, the song titles have nothing to do with the lyrics, so it's hard to remember what song is what.
Classic Pumpkins. We're back in the Gish era.
Right. This is the most similar to Gish in that it's not very catchy, it's not very memorable. The lyrics are absolute bullshit for the most part, with maybe one or two exceptions of like, okay, these are actually good lyrics. I wish the song was better, but at least I can say, yes, you had a good lyrical theme there. But yeah, this one doesn't really hold up on repeated listens, and I listen to it a lot to try to just remember it. Frankly, I don't remember what most of these songs sound like as I'm looking at the list. But I still enjoyed it more than Gish. So this would be the second worst Pumpkins album, Gish still being the worst. And the reason is I didn't get flat out angry at the songwriting here. I was more just mildly disappointed. It's like, man, I want this to either be really bad or at least have like one standout like classic song. Like, I wanted a Heaven's on Fire on this album, and instead all I got were a bunch of Murder and High Heels.
That's a joke for Julia and Julia only.
Yeah, it's really just
I'm laughing, and I understand.
She understood that reference because we still have drops.
Again, don't have a single XLR cable. I could technically record drops on a separate channel into my device and then send them to you later.
Oh my God.
Be able to hear them.
I'm not.
Wow.
You could just randomly throughout the episode just imitate our favorite one.
Yeah.
You know.
But I'll say this
And
album
yet
is
another joke about death.
Yes.
And just plain, and then it cuts off right before the phrase ends.
Mouthfully squeezed mine hedgehog.
What
Song
to
about
say? Well, of course you did.
That one's
Just
so
keep doing that.
long.
It's-
Long man.
So yeah,
Wow.
good sounding album, good production, but unfortunately weak songwriting, the weakest since the band's inception, which is a bit of an issue. So Steve, you're a diehard Pumpkins fan. You're the one who wanted to do every Pumpkins album, and then forgot that this was part of that.
Yeah, I guess so. So let's see. So this came out in 2012, which I think would have been pretty close to when I was starting to get pretty disillusioned with the band. I had been following their
You
mailing
weren't even in the
list.
band yet. But
Hey, anyway, so I had been following the mailing list when they were doing the song at a time thing, and there were some pretty good songs from that, and some were pretty forgettable. But like I was generally sort of enjoying that, and then at some point I realized I didn't like Zeitgeist, and then I just didn't get this album right away when it came out. It wasn't until I don't think several years later that I finally got around to like going on Amazon and be like, all right, I got $10 to spare. Send me a copy of Oceania. And then sometimes I would listen to it. It wasn't on any streaming services until a couple months ago, I think. So I barely ever listened to it on Spotify, and I didn't ever put it in my car. And when it came up on my Winamp rotation, I was like, let's skip to a song that I want to listen to. I probably listened to it more this week than I had previously. And yeah, Greg's assessment of it is, other than the not so subtle shade being thrown at the classic album Gish, Chair Drop, his assessment's probably pretty spot on for my feelings of it. Is like, it's a lot of just sort of middling songs that are a little bit boring and not all that interesting, but the production is good. Like, he's toned down the choir of Billies. He's like, wait, hold on. If I want pretty voices, I can just hire a professional soprano or alto to do those parts for me, and she'll do a really good job of it.
Yeah.
So
I
he
like
does
the way
that
he
a lot,
did. Yeah.
which
So-
is definitely an improvement.
So Steve, basically believes I'm correct about Smashing Pumpkins. That is the correct opinion I have. Gavin, your turn. What are your thoughts on Oceania
Well,
and history with the band?
Yeah, I got into the band in the 7th grade. My buddy Josh burned me a random mix of their stuff, so I had stuff kind of from all over the golden age, and then I, eventually got all the albums and yada yada. I had definitely fallen off the wagon with the Pumpkins, like around the time of Oceania. Like, I knew Jimmy wasn't in it at the time, and Jimmy is one of my kind of biggest drumming influences, so I kind of really didn't necessarily care what was going on with the band at that time, and songs I had heard from the albums before it didn't excite me then, and they only mildly do now. But I didn't really pay attention to this album when it came out. I listened to it, I think, once, maybe a couple years ago, and I don't even know if I finished it. I listened to it a few times for this, and I'll never have that time back.
It's hard to get through this album. It's so long.
Well, and I also...
it's actually not that long. It's only an hour. That's like kind of normal length. It's just that there aren't any great songs on it is the problem.
You feel that length as it burrows into your ears, yeah.
Considering how long the next album is, this hour feels very long.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot what was next.
I don't remember what that is.
Monuments to an Elegy.
Elegy,
great album.
Is there a Billy solo next, or is Monuments next?
Oh God, is it like Oji Lala or something?
I don't know. But anyway, Julia, were you feeling the length of this?
I felt it on my 45-minute drive.
Squeeze mine hedgehog.
I felt the length so deep. My 45-minute drives to work were made longer by this album.
Because you're like, oh shoot, I have to sit in my car and listen to another 15 minutes of this before I go in.
I feel like a prisoner in my own vehicle. I mean, honestly, the good thing about listening to it when you drive is you can kind of just tune it out. When it gets too boring, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna read road signs now. Just do something else.
So were you a Pumpkins fan before this album? I kind of skipped and went into your thoughts on the album, but what's your history and how it relates to this album?
Yeah, so we've been through this before with all of our previous listens, which is that I've never listened to any of the good Smashing Pumpkins albums, and because I was
until now,
and I heard Oceania. I missed the Pumpkins wagon by a few years, I would say, because like by the time I was invested in music, like we had moved beyond that. I was listening to much better music in 2012. I would never have stooped to this level. I had My Chemical Romance going on. I don't need anything else. So
when did
that
Black
being
Parade
said,
come out?
Black Parade was like 2006, I think.
Yeah. No, this is 2012. I would have been listening to Danger Days, which is an album I really enjoyed and still do. But that being said, I didn't totally hate this album. Like you said, like the production of it isn't bad. It's not like unpleasant to listen to. I think its weakness is that there's no dynamic range to make it like one song stand out from the other. They all have the same energy level and the same tones. So they all sound like one big puddle of song, and like not there's nothing to break it apart from each other or make any of it really distinct. So that was, I think, where I was really struggling and where I found it really easy to tune out. It's like, oh, I've heard this song 4 times now. I don't need to listen to it this time.
I would love to have you hear Gish.
Yeah, see, I know I need to actually listen to
No, that's the exact same problem.
No.
I mean,
Gish is a brilliant album full of memorable songs.
well, and I mean, really,
Also, it's 15 minutes shorter.
You're
I need to
confusing it
listen
with
to
Machina
Melancholy, which I still haven't.
Melancholy
that's a
is
good
rough
one.
on Spotify because they only have the extended edition, and Melancholy is already like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Well,
And
but so
the
you only
extended edition is like the rest of your life.
Melancholy, the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still not as long as the bonus edition of Adore with 90 tracks.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
The bonus edition of Machina is supposed to come out like this year, and it's supposed to be 80 tracks, and I'm a little excited.
Me too, actually. And I know I
love
won't.
Machina.
I love hate it. There's a lot of but that's a different episode.
Yeah. So Victor, I know you were probably not listening to better music in 2012. Were you enjoying this album, blasting it?
100%.
What's your Pumpkins history and your long history with Oceania? This was a day one buy for you, wasn't it?
It was actually you jest, but I have a lot of specific history with this.
Yeah.
As I said on previous Pumpkins episodes, I joined the Sleepy Corgan Choir in 2006. Made my debut on Zeitgeist, had a few choice appearances on American Gothic, and toured with them for a little while after that. And then I got word that Billy was firing all the Sleepy Corgans and hiring Girl Dot Wave to sing. Now that was one thing I wanted to ask. Was this Darcy or John Bouvard singing?
It was me.
I believe it was insert generic lanky female bassist here.
No,
Nicole
Google woman, and that's who
Fiorentino.
sang on this album.
I just
The
love
first picture that comes up, that's who sang it.
I just love that Victor's joke was aimed at such a specific audience that will understand both 2012 Smashing Pumpkins and 80s Kiss history and get
Yeah.
the John Bouvard joke. That's
Yeah.
good.
So basically,
Nice
the
work.
specific audience of the people on this episode.
Yeah.
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 And let's be
Yeah,
honest,
no,
only
no.
about half of them.
Yeah.
Specifically, Greg and Gavin.
Yes.
And it means a lot to me.
It doesn't mean as much to me, but I appreciate the effort. But it doesn't. It's not one of the things I value most in my life.
Your holding down team didn't get the joke. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got fired, and I actually, so this is one I didn't listen to until we were doing the episode about it. But I actually, despite the bitter feelings I had about not being in Smashing Pumpkins anymore,
And about me replacing you.
about being replaced by my own girlfriend,
Yeah.
I like this album a lot. And I think
Right, because it's boring.
That's right.
That's why
boring.
I like it.
Yeah, it's really boring.
It's late period.
No one else likes it.
It has 3 songs I despise. Nobody else likes it. I honestly found myself like at work, if I was just bored of whatever my playlist was playing, I would open up Spotify, and on my homepage it would be there because I'd been listening to it and be like, yeah, I could listen to that. I genuinely enjoy 40 minutes of this album. Again, if this an hour-long album, my saying holds true. If you cut it down to 40 minutes, it's probably pretty good. And I know exactly which 20 minutes to cut.
I mean, to be fair, that's probably true. If you did cut about 15, 20 minutes from this album, it would be solid.
I
got the
think
right
it would still be at
50-20.
the bottom of the catalog, other than Gish, because there's just nothing stand out here. But it would
know,
be
that's what's so
less
good about
annoying
it,
to
Greg.
listen to.
Yeah, but you end up with an album that you don't actively dislike, right? You cut
I
the
don't
right 50
actively
minutes,
dislike it.
and you'd
just-
have an album that oh yeah, I could stand to listen to Oceania. I haven't listened to that one in a while. And then you'd listen to it and you'd be like, yeah, that was kind of fun, and you go about your day.
I mean, hey, a C+ is better than average, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Average plus.
Yeah.
average plus could be worse.
Could be
Could
worse.
be better.
Could be a lot better.
I don't know if it could. I think it's the greatest album I've ever heard. I think it's the best Smashing Pumpkins album I've listened to.
Well, I mean,
Me too.
they got rid of the weak links in the band, so it makes sense that they finally
Oh.
Wow. Wow.
As a,
No,
as
Billy's
a-
getting rid of that Jimmy
Oh.
Chamberlain chump.
as a number one Jimmy stan over here, to use the hip kids lingo, that joke hurt me.
Well, I think he was talking about the Sleepy Corgan Choir.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
But then I twisted it and then got a ding against Gavin also.
You dinged me.
So you guys ready to get into this ranking?
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
So coming in as the worst thing about Smashing Pumpkins Oceania is the rough position Mike Byrne was put in.
Yeah.
1 point from Victor. You want to go ahead and explain that one?
Wait, Victor, you voted for that too?
No, sir.
Gavin
I'm just
voted
reading
for
the column.
this.
Just 1 point from Gavin.
Yeah. Yeah, so Mike Byrne is a great drummer. He is playing on this album the exact way that I would if I was hired to play on this album, and that is be a drummer who's young enough to have grown up influenced by Jimmy and then be hired by Billy to be Jimmy for Billy. And so I don't envy the position he was put in, but as is in the fine print of that contract, he knows this, that every other drummer who's also a big Smashing Pumpkins fan is going to listen to that and go, this guy's just doing Jimmy. And, you know, you just got to take that step further and go, well, wait, if I was hired by Billy to be, you know, yeah. So it's a rough position, and he did the best that he could, which is great. The drumming is super solid on this album. But it's just like it is Jimmy filtered through another person. You know what I mean? It's kind of a Tommy Thayer thing, because everyone understands that.
Yeah.
I understand. But I think to give a little bit more credit to Mike is that Jimmy's sound was so a core, essential part of the Pumpkin sound. I think we would agree with that.
Oh, 100%.
And it really, you could just say he's just playing in the style of the Pumpkins, which is playing in the style of Jimmy Chamberlin. Like, so if you had, let's say, Mike Portnoy playing for Kiss, it just would not fit with the style. It's too much of a drastic shift. And so maybe Mike could have had more of his own individual personality on these tracks. But when you're given this kind of material, there's kind of no other way to really play these songs. Like when Billy writes a song a certain way, you just have to like play the drums the way that best suits the material. And that's kind of what he does here. Like, he does an admirable job playing on these mediocre songs.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. Well, but it's also it's fill choice, it's the way things get voiced. It's a little more than just
I get it.
Yeah.
I think it's not quite as egregious as the Tommy Thayer thing. I think that is
fair. Few things are.
So, but I understand where you lean with that, but I think it's I don't think it's quite as egregious as that example. So I get it, and I respect the tough position he was put in, but I think he did a bang up job.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I think people complain about but I think people complain about missing Jimmy. I think is unfair to Mike, because I think that Jimmy would have largely have done the same thing on this album. Like, this album wouldn't have been any better with Jimmy Chamberlin's presence.
Oh no, it wouldn't have been better. The drumming would have been, though. You know what I mean? So I would have at least that to listen to. I
don't know. I think that this is coming from a non-drummer who is not as intricate of a fan of the Pumpkins.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that noticeable, that switch.
I still tend to stand by my crackpot theory that Billy does work best if he's got, even if they ultimately give in to whatever he's demanding they do, Billy Corgan works best with personalities that are strong enough to push back a little bit. And I think Jimmy Chamberlin isn't the sort of person who pushed back. I feel like Iha has always pushed back more than Chamberlin. But like, even just having somebody who's, being like, well, I'm not just some kid that you hired fresh out of college to drum on your album. I have, opinions that I want to express, and I think that helps push Billy to be the best he can. As evidenced by the next album when he hired Tommy Lee, and Tommy Lee shows up and is like, "Yeah, let's do the best album in this whole series." I like monuments. I realize I'm a minority in this.
Yeah, and another thing about the drumming, though, I think honestly the only complaint that I would have with the sound of this album is they recorded him in what sounds like probably the same studio they recorded all the other stuff in. And if you just
hitting the drums,
if you just have him, send him down the street a little bit.
Yeah,
That's true.
a little further away.
Point a cardioid in that general direction.
Can we get some of those silencing pads on there?
Yeah.
I have a factoid about Mike Byrne that I would love to share. If you look at his Wikipedia page, there is a little header in the contents called After the Smashing Pumpkins, and it reads, "Upon leaving the Smashing Pumpkins, Byrne continued his efforts with local band Bear Cubbin." And I say that with the thing because there's an exclamation point. Yeah, Bear Cubbin in the Pacific Northwest. Victor, Julie, up by you guys. They have released 2 full-length albums. During their visit to South by Southwest in 2014, they won the award for Worst Band Name out of the thousands of bands attending.
Oh my god!
And then he's also in another band called Moses Smell the Roses.
Oh, that's a worse name.
That is actually worse.
And can we release this episode on February 6th? It's just next Saturday. Because guess whose birthday it is? That's right, Mike Byrne's birthday.
Happy
February
birthday,
6th.
And the answer
Burns.
is no, because we have the Kiss 12-parter still coming out.
So this is coming out after that?
Yeah.
Oh, so this won't be out till like December.
Because we still have 10 more episodes of Kiss to release.
Yeah.
Happy belated birthday, Mr. Burns.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. Bear Cubbin.
Bear Cubbin.
Bear Cubbin. We're Bear Cubbin. Like nightclubbing, the Iggy Pop song?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also a band named Bear Cub. I know of them because somebody left their CD in my attic.
Is that a euphemism?
No, that's literally when I moved into this house. I was like, well, I'm going to go clean out all those cardboard boxes from the attic, and was like, oh, there's a Misfits poster and a CD by a band called Bear Cub. It's signed.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And Riders in the Sky poster.
Ooh.
No, it might have even been the Riders in the Sky poster that was signed. It's like, oh, this is maybe worth something to somebody crumble up, throw in the trash.
Maybe Bear Cubbin is a Bear Cub cover band.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
What if they've
Bear
been called
Cubbin.
Bear Froggin?
Bear Cubbin
Ooh.
is what happens when the teddy bears get together to create Bear Cub.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. It is a euphemism then.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you guys ready to get to the next item in this ranking?
Oh, you know it.
He says item because we're still 3 away from songs.
Next up is the pasticcio barrier.
Oh,
Wow.
So
come
everything
on.
above this is above the pasticcio barrier. So,
Maybe for
Sorry,
you,
Gavin.
weirdos.
I mean,
Yeah.
no one else voted on it, Gavin.
Yeah.
I know.
Gavin gave this 6 points.
I put
6
more of the
points.
album below the pasticcio barrier than above, I believe.
Well, above the pasticcio barrier, this almost beat out one of the songs on the album.
Oh, I should have put it higher then.
Oh, wait, no.
Beanips is nuts on the
Yeah.
list.
Yeah, yo.
Yeah. Let's hear it for Beanips.
Beer, beer, beer.
Which Julia gave 7 points to.
I didn't put it at the bottom either. As I said, there are things that need to go off this album.
There are, but think about it. This album, when you have little chest nuggets that are
Yes.
such nightmare
His little treasures.
fuel, his little treasures, using that term as loose as we can, because they are quite giant.
One man's trash is another man's nipples.
Right. Speaking of trash, next up on the list, we have the first song in our ranking,
Wow.
Wildflower.
Yeah.
How does that go?
They changed my
So
name.
here, I'm
Everyone
gonna
goes, wildflower, ooh, wildflower.
Speaking
The last
of getting wasted along the way.
yeah, so just so I'm clear with the ranking, this was second from the bottom for me, third from the bottom for Steve, last place for Victor, second to last for Julia. Gavin gave it 8 points.
Gavin?
Yeah, because hey, it's just above the Pasticcio barrier, but songs have to commit such egregious offenses to get below that barrier that I can explain why each song that is below it, and each song that is above it. Wildflower reminds me very loosely of some other Smashing Pumpkins songs that I actually like. So I kind of listen to that and hear like the wasted along the way, whatever. And then I think about like, oh man, I could be listening to like Blissed and Gone, or like I could be listening to Here's to the
Reminds you
Atom
of better
or...
things you could be listening to, but it's not making you as angry about it as some of the other songs.
Exactly. It's not as egregious as this album gets.
I mean, yeah, it is the, hey, we're going to do the soft album closer, do a little ballad at the end of the album.
Which
it's just
Billy's good at.
unfortunate this is a bad one.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It's no Farewell and Good Night.
Yeah, it's a bad song ending the album.
Yeah. It's no Luna.
Yeah.
It's no Daydream.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
I mean, that was one of the songs from Gish I liked.
That makes sense.
I feel
it was
like
probably that and Suffer, wasn't it?
I'm trying to remember. I'd have to.
All that you suffer is.
No, not that one.
He says that on this album too.
Don't make me suffer.
I think going back to what Greg was talking about with, this album being well produced, that might actually be the thing, is like you have songs like Daydream and Luna and Farewell and Goodnight that actually have fairly minimal production and arrangement and mostly stand on the strength of being like just good songs, earnestly delivered without a bunch of affectation and hullabaloo. Whereas this one is sort of the opposite of it. It's like a forgettable, mediocre song that he puts as much affectation as possible on, with flying in a bunch of extra vocalists. He's super into the vocal delivery the entire song. Like he tries to have a build in the song, but his vocals don't have anywhere to go from starting off like, I'm angsty, and now I'm angsty and slightly louder.
And 40.
I appreciate I appreciate what he's going for, but it doesn't land, unfortunately. Like, I get what he was trying to do. It just, for me, it was not a success.
Yeah, this was such a bummer to end the album with, because there was just such a lack of energy and just like, okay, I like, again, the production of this record, except for one thing, which is I do not like any of the string sounds.
Oh, well, I think they're like more like Mellotron.
Oh, yeah. I mean, okay, I do not like any of them. I think that is distracting.
I like
Mellotron on Siamese Dream is better. Because it's a
it really doesn't work in this song, though. I feel like it clashes with the rest of it, but also, I mean, this song is really, really bad. And then it just like goes away. And I'm like, oh, that's one way to end an album. Sure, I guess. It's stupid. It doesn't work. The song, he sounds really bad in this song. He sounds really annoying. And I hate it. And I hate him. I wish I could look at his nipples instead.
You can find him online.
So, Victor, you rank this even lower than Julia. What are your thoughts?
Song sucks shit. The only good thing about it, well, there's two good things about it. No, there's three good things about it. One, it's the last track on the album, so it's very easy to skip. Two, there's a weird like kind of synth like repeating thing that comes in about a minute in. I like that. If you get rid of the rest of the song and it's just that, that's an album closer, baby.
High praise.
Yeah. And then the last thing is it brings up an interesting question. How many syllables does the word wildflower have?
Yes.
Because in this song, he says it with at least in 3 different ways. He says it with 2 syllables, 3 syllables, and 4 syllables.
Wildflower.
Because it's Prague.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's Prague.
Shit.
Any other comments on the masterpiece that is Wildflower before we move on?
Apparently in my notes, which I forgot to consult until right now, I wrote, he's trying to sing above his weight. Which I knew what I meant by that at the time.
I know what you mean by it now.
Yeah. So some of these notes were taken
While you were high, yes, I know.
Yeah.
It ain't over till the Fat Billy sings.
Oh, that's a good one.
All right, so the next song in our ranking was given 1 point by me, 2 points by Steve, 2 points by Victor, 3 by Julia, and 10 by Gavin.
Gavin, what the fuck, dude?
Is it really? Is this the one?
Next up is Oceania.
Oh boy.
Oceania.
Okay.
Oceania.
Yeah. I counted wrong. This one. It's
Gavin,
fine.
No,
one
shut the
agrees.
fuck up.
Okay, actually, so the real reason why I like it, and again, it's
Because you were high.
Well, yes, but I listened to it also while I very much wasn't, and one of those listens was more enjoyable than the other. But it's another case of something on this album reminding me of better Corgan stuff. So like Oceania, the song, if it was just like the opening, like 20 seconds, right? If it was just like a keyboard thing, like 17 on a door, right? Or like the Melancholy title track or something, it would be
That's
the
not this
best
song.
thing on this album.
Oh, you mean the...
Just yeah, if it was just that on loop for a little bit, and yeah, and that opening keyboard thing, and how good I liked that, how much I liked that, how good I thought it was, made up for how boring and really forgettable the rest of the song is.
There's a problem. There's another 9 minutes.
more minutes after that.
Yeah,
Right.
I know. I really like that opening keyboard bit. Much more
You're
than
like,
a lot
this
of
song
other
reminds
things on
me of
this album.
Billy's other 9-minute long songs that are better
Yeah.
than this one.
Because really, in terms of songs that I think are like that I could put on for people and go, this song is fine. It's like
This is one of them?
no. This is just below that line. Only my top 3 songs are ones that I think I could show to people and be like, this is a fine, okay. Oceania is just below that line. So I'm not defending it, is my point. I like the opening keyboard bit. There's 9 boring minutes. It's not a good song, but not much on this album is.
All right, so there's 10 boring minutes of this song. Issue. This is, I think, sorry. This is bad songwriting. This is a long song for the sake of a long song, but there's nothing worth justifying the length. It's just trying really hard to make this an epic, but none of the parts are good enough to justify being part of an epic. It's bad songwriting. Like I hesitate to call most of the stuff that Billy has done to be bad songwriting. Some of it I would just say is not my cup of tea, or I would have preferred something different. This is just bad.
Yeah. I like the part when the children's recorders start playing.
Yeah.
My favorite.
I like the part where after the little keyboard bit, when all the guitar things come in and you hear what they're playing and you're like, oh, this song is gonna be really long. It is the most like get yourself ready for a long and boring song riff I've ever heard.
Buckle up, kids.
I kind of
My Billy Corgan voice sounds too much like my Rob Zombie voice. I'm really having some trouble here. I can't. In my head, it sounds so accurate, and then it comes out, and he's
you're
like,
yeah.
Dracula.
But it's funny because that's Billy Corgan talking, but Rob Zombie singing too. So that's the interesting thing.
There's a fine line, but I just wanted him to say, "Buckle up, kids." That was it.
Buckle up, kids.
And one more thing before I hand it to Steve. I just want to say this is a bummer because it's the title track, and I like the title. It's a cool sounding title, and I like the album art a lot. So like it has a lot going from like I want to like it. It sounds cool, and I love this album cover, title track, and then it sucks, and that's such a bummer. Go ahead, Steve.
I mean, yeah, the trick with this song I find is, so we were talking about, you know, this album is 15 to 20 minutes too long. If we just took 2 of those minutes from this song, like, you know, you have that nice intro part, and then the first like verse and chorus of the slow part, and then drop the second verse and chorus, cut that whole part in half and get to the build. This song would have gone up at least 3 places in my ranking. Like he tried to make it more epic than it deserved. This would have been a fine 7-minute build, slow burn song. But instead he was like, no, it needs to be a 9-minute slow burn song. So you have just long enough to be really bored before it goes anywhere.
I feel like this... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Disagree. Go ahead, Gavin.
I was just going to say that I feel like this is what people who hate Glass and the Ghost Children probably think Glass and the Ghost Children is, but Glass and the Ghost Children is a good song.
It is.
Glass and the Ghost Children is much better than this. Like
Hell yeah.
As many issues as I had with that song, I will easily say that is far superior.
And
Glass and the Ghost Children has like a point to it. Like it has enough changes to keep things interesting. Like it's got a whole song, and then it's got that interlude with the...
And the changes are coherent. Like the changes here aren't coherent. It's like, here's just another fucking thing I threw in to make it longer.
But this song is also, it's really an exercise in tension, right? Because you're listening to that repeating...
How long until the song is over, that's the tension.
Well, that and also...
I've been holding this
going to
theme for so
the Batman
long.
theme, right? Like the Batman animated series theme.
Oh, yeah, it does have some of that same melodic structure, but that is... so much better. And the thing is, it does that line, what, twice? This is terrible,
there's that part. Oh, no, it is a terrible song. I agree. Most of this album is. Everything below number 3 is terrible on for me. Yeah. No fights here, bro.
I was trying to experiment with like, oh, there's the song right before this one. If you take just the intro of that, and then just take the one part I kind of remember from Oceania, which is...
Oceania?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oceanima.
God, I wish Enya had been on this album.
Get that Orinoco flow.
Yeah. The try the weight on me bit, I sort of almost like, except that it's sandwiched in between 2 things that do go on. But... Oh, and then there's a Guitarmonies bit halfway through the build that I liked, but everything before and after that was bad. But like, because I was trying to figure out, oh, could you just take pieces of each of these songs, put them together, then they're still sort of on the album. But no, just get rid of this. Get rid of Wildflower. Get rid of what I hope is the next song on this ranking.
It fucking better be. It's already too high.
The other thing is like with the albums I've been on for Smashing Pumpkins that have really long songs, so far I've liked them a lot. I really liked Jesus I, and I really liked United States. But this song...
That's the trick is Billy Corgan can write a good long song when he just takes 2 songs and slams them together. Like that tends to work, but when he tries to do 9 minutes of just a single song, it falls apart.
Well, yeah,
I actually disagree with that because I think there's good long songs that are just one long song, like Airplane Flies High. So he's done that before. I just think
6 minutes ain't a long song.
I thought that was like 7.
7 minutes ain't a long song.
Not that long. Also, doesn't Aeroplane have like the whole middle part where it's just doing something different?
No, it's like one riff over and over again. That
Yeah, and it does the Pixies Loud Quiet Loud thing.
I can't
Oh, they
make
invented
myself
that.
visualize that song because I now have Glass of the Ghost Children.
I'll stop there so that the copyright bots don't.
Yeah,
That's
that's why we're not on Spotify.
yeah. Disconnected by your smile. That one.
That's it. Thank you.
Well, so Jesus I / Mary Star of the Sea is, I mean, it's 2 songs slammed together, and there's a thing in the middle, which kind of makes it 3 movements, if you will. And United States is kind of the same way, where there's kind of the opening bit, and then it gets into the slower section, or it gets into, the slower section, and then it finishes off with a ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da bit. And then this one is, I think, 3 sections, but for all I know, they could all be the same thing, and I just, like, it's so far out of my brain by the time I'm hearing the next one that I just don't even give a shit.
Well, not giving a shit. I think that sums up our opinions on this song and probably this album.
No, the album is good.
Oh, you're gonna be the.
Good. There are just no good songs on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You're gonna
I
be
don't
the only
understand
one-
about that.
so next up, we actually have a song that's a bit divisive.
I mean, it's just you, Greg. It's just you are wrong on this one.
No, you ranked it in the middle, Steve.
I mean, I'm a little bit wrong.
Right. So it's hated by 3 panelists, ranked as in the middle by Steve, and ranked as my number 1.
What?
Oh my god.
Ah! I knew it.
Who wants to
Greg,
guess
go
what's
see a
next?
doctor immediately. You need to go to the doctor. I'm begging.
Guesses for what's next on the list.
If your pinwheels last more than 5 minutes, consult a physician.
Wheels is next on the list. My number 1 on this album. I still don't necessarily think this is that good of a song. It's just, remember how we were talking about how this reminded you of other things that you liked? This was clearly like Billy Corgan doing a bad job at trying to be Paul McCartney in Wings,
Oh, God.
which to me was the highlight of the album. But I generally I like the melody, I like the instrumentation, the production, I liked the vocal harmonies, a lot of those like just really held out chords with rich vocals layered on top. Just it's very Wings-esque. Made me smile. I liked just the optimism of it. I enjoyed it as much as I can enjoy something on this album. So like if you guys like say you hate it and think it's terrible, I'm not gonna die on this hill. Just this was the most pleasant thing for me on this album in that I remember what it sounds like and it reminded me of my favorite songwriter. Like and someone doing a bad imitation of that.
Well, Greg, you know what I have to say to you? This song doesn't deserve you, but you deserve this song.
Yes.
Best thing you've ever said to me.
That's the what?
That's the meanest thing you've ever said to me.
Oh, I'm kidding, Greg.
I also kind of have the like. I have the reminded of better things that I would rather be listening to. Nostalgia bumping this up a little bit for me too, and that like one thing I like about the Pumpkins of this era is I do like what he was doing with synthesizers. Like I like the fun, happy synths. So I listened to this song and I'm like, oh, this is kind of like that song, The Fellowship, that was part of the Tea Garden project.
Rules.
And that song's great. I would rather be listening to that. And then it gets into the song like it's an okay melody with just sort of a dreary bummer of a delivery.
Oh, like that Talking Heads song, This Must Be the Place, okay melody?
Yeah.
Just kidding. It's naive melody.
Is that one?
No, it's a good melody.
Yeah, it is. It is good melody. That's what it's called. Sorry to
Mr. Burns
derail.
wrote it.
So, if you guys want to talk about how much you hate this song, I mean, the floor is open.
I feel like there's only so many ways I can say it's bad, but it's bad. Like my notes for it, in all the listens, the only thing I ever thought to write for this song was Billy, stop, stop now. And I did rank one song below this, so I do think that there is one song that is worse than this, but this is pretty goddamn bad.
Do you want to unleash or should I go?
I mean, either way is fine by me.
What I want you to do is make sure your comments are directed as personal attacks against me for kind of liking it.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, Greg, you know that my joke on you was in the lyrics, right?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. This
I
song
remembered.
deserves you. You don't
Yeah.
deserve this song.
Yeah.
you know what, Greg?
Yeah.
I've got you.
Yeah.
There's
And the thing is, my favorite, most memorable song is still not that memorable.
yeah. Well, now I hate the song even more for making you think I insulted my friend.
The thing is, the best song on this album is a C+.
Oh, and if this is a C+ too, I just don't even know what does it like. Okay, the first time I listened to this album, let me paint a word picture for everyone. I'm driving home. I actually got to leave kind of early that day, so the sun was still up. It was starting to go down. The sky was beautiful, and I was
Mother Moon was not yet out.
Mother Moon was not yet there. Sister Sun was going to bed. I'm driving. And I'm feeling alive and full of possibilities. The world is a beautiful place, and I'm not afraid to die. And all of a sudden, this song starts playing, and the first thing I hear is the synth part where it's all boom, 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 and I was like, those are the exact notes of White Christmas. Like that was borderline a White Christmas ripoff, and I was like, okay, I'm very displeased to have heard that, but maybe the song will go somewhere from here. And then Billy started singing, and then I thought about wrecking my car, and I thought about how much I would like to have never been born. I wish I'd never been cursed with ears, so I didn't have to hear this shit. And just when I thought it couldn't get worse, the female vocal came in, and then I did crash my car. This I'm sorry to the singers on this, but I find their voices to be very weak in terms of they don't add anything to the song in terms of a voice that has any qualities to it. It's like pouring water in the back of the song. It's like they don't have any characteristics that make me interested in them. I don't think they do anything interesting with Billy's voice. And hearing them in the back just going, I got you, is murder most foul. I'm going to kill Billy Corgan.
it's Billy Corgan and the Sleepy Morgan Choir.
Yeah, I just was so full of misery. And every time this song comes on, I'm just every time it plays, I think, yes, I should have just driven my car straight off of the I-5 bridge into the water below and just let it stop. Make it go away. Never again. No. Billy, stop.
Stop now.
Drive into the Oceania.
Yeah, I'll drive into the Oceania.
So, Victor, what are your thoughts on this? You've ranked this higher than Gavin.
Yeah. So this one, this is the thing I was talking about earlier, maybe saving the intro bit, because it does kind of remind me of, oh boy, here we go. I'm about to say this. A band I like, Coldplay. Especially I think specifically in this era of what they were doing at this time, it would have fit in with their whole thing. But then he gets rid of all of that after carefully building it up, or not so carefully building it up, maybe just having a session open in Pro Tools or whatever, and kind of just fucking around whatever he happens to click on and just letting it live in the song. And then he gets rid of all of that and starts saying the stupidest fucking shit. Like, we're all nerds here, but it made me want to beat him up.
Yeah,
and like really be like, you are a fucking nerd.
This
and
is
I
a
want
major put
this
him
to
in a trash
stop.
can.
Just like take his lunch money.
Locker.
Like, okay, it's a very funny song to sing along with, though. I feel like we've amused ourselves by
Oh my God.
singing it to each other.
Well, and
but
it's perfect because there's two of us, so
Yes.
one of us can be Billy and one of us can be
But that's
her.
the only joy that we've been able to derive from this song. It's so
It is like, it's basically a one-way ticket to just
this
making the other
Mother
person mad.
Moon bullshit. Like, I forgot to include that the first time I listened to this album was in the same week where my tire exploded, and I still think this was the worst thing that happened to me.
Wow.
To be fair, the dumb Mother Moon Mistress of the Sun lyrics were probably written directly while looking at a tarot card, since that was what this project was all about.
I know, and he's a
Do better,
fucking
you
nerd.
stupid bitch.
Get better interests.
My God.
Yeah, right about Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
It's like, I just,
frankly, yes.
Billy getting really sweaty looking at the card where he's like, how do I write about this one? I don't know what to say.
I will say these are
Something stupid, I guess.
they are an aggressive
Fucking
step down.
stupid.
Like, 'cause-
Instead of writing this, he should have just dicked around on a synthesizer in his tea shop.
So,
Yeah.
Well, somebody
Moon
read the
was a
writings
mother.
of Siddhartha.
Well, because Tiergarten, like that, actually, the lyrics were not that bad, and you were still able to latch onto them much more than this album. Like, this is all spacey bullshit, pretty much, on this album.
like,
You say that, but honestly, I have had every single one of these songs stuck in my head at one point in the last 2 weeks.
No, but I'm saying in terms of the lyrical content of
Oh, yeah.
words being
Hmm.
bullshit.
You meant
like, this
spacey in
is-
like the space cadet way.
Yes.
well, like, I'm famously lyrics deaf, but I heard the lyrics to
He
this
got
one and I wish I hadn't.
He got rid of everything to make sure that you heard
Yeah, he's
that
like,
Mother Moon was the
Mother
mistress of the sun,
Moon.
and that she says she's got you.
You heard
Oh.
lovers of the tune sing, and you were like, "Yes, I will."
Oh, there's my cue. You're right.
So, do we have any other comments on Pinwheels?
I just really I feel that if the listener takes one thing away, other than apparently Billy Corgan do better, you stupid bitch, is that it was Greg's number one, and when I quoted the lyrics and substituted one word,
You got offended.
he thought I made a gross personal attack on him. So that's A, how these lyrics could be interpreted, and B, how memorable these songs are.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's really not. And also, I haven't listened to it in a couple days, and I forgot that even though this is my number one, it does have some of the worst lyrics on the album. It's just I enjoyed the melodic. I enjoyed the melody lines of this more than anything else, and just the pleasant atmosphere the music provides. And since I can't really judge these songs really and like having good hooks, that's kind of the best I can do with this album. And honestly, it's not a strong number one. Like the next one on this list is my number two, and
Before we change, I do like the brazen narcissism of "You don't deserve me, but I deserve you."
I mean
I
that is
know,
just like,
it reminded me of his baby, I'm the greatest thing you got.
Right?
Oh,
In a
yeah.
good way.
I mean, like, Billy is really horny for himself. Like, this album is so
He
Oh,
was
and you
He
didn't
naps
even
as
listen to
number
Future
one.
Brace.
He's such
Holy
a-
God.
he's such a saucy little minx in this. Like, he's such a fucking little slut. Like,
Little horny
it's
twerp.
interesting. But yeah, I was like, he seems to regard himself very highly sexually, which is bold. Very bold.
This dude wants to smash my pumpkins.
Oh my God. Ugh.
Well, this reminds me of the song that Led Zeppelin and Smashing Pumpkins did together. The Oceania.
Oh boy. Oh
was
boy.
Ooh, boo.
Well, what about the one them and Journey did together? Pinwheels in the Sky Keep on Turning?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
All right,
great.
there we go. That's
Wheels
much
in
better.
the sky. Keep on turning.
Yeah, but
so-
that was just a rewrite of the classic spiritual, pinwheel in a wheel way up in the middle of the air.
Ah, yes.
So
Jesus,
that's
take the pinwheel. Sorry, I needed to do one.
Jesus, I take the pinwheels.
Turn like a
Oh,
pinwheel
shit.
inside the pinwheel. Turn like a pinwheel. He's all right. See for yourself. Pinwheels don't
Famous
mind.
collaboration
No, that's
between
really good.
Spawn and the
Thank you.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
All right, so this next song I ranked as number 2, and I was just listening to it to remember what it sounded like.
Oh God, can we just listen to Stop Making Sense instead?
We should do the Talking Heads catalog. Greg,
Alright,
make it
so-
happen.
Yeah.
Steve was the one who said we should do every Pumpkins album. So I gave this.
And I'm grateful because I got to listen to Oceania.
Oceania.
When
Ocean
you
Guy.
commit to doing an entire catalog, Steve, that means the entire catalog, not just the ones you liked.
Yeah, but you didn't want to do Our Lady Peace.
And
No,
now
I
we're
was fine with doing
here.
Our Lady Piece.
Or rather, our fans didn't want us to do Our Lady Peace because
No,
nobody.
you
that.
didn't suggest it. You just said let's do Smashing Pumpkins, and I said sure, that's fine. That was the
I
conversation.
thought about it. It was like, what episodes would people actually listen to? And I was like, oh, I guess it'd be Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, but I didn't fight you on it. I said, yeah, sure, let's do it. Book some guests. And then you didn't. And then we started doing episodes where I asked Edwards to do it.
See, this is what this song has brought us to. We're now like, why are we even talking about these guys' albums? We've hit that level of the Pumpkins catalog.
Well, Steve found out how much I loved Reveal and then brought this into my life.
A gift.
A little gift for me.
Welcome, I guess. Are you
So like I
this
said-
album next?
So this is my
Yeah.
number 2 song,
God.
but also it's not as hated by everyone else. Victor gave this 8 points. Julia and Steve gave it 5 points, which means they probably still hate it, but not as much as the last one. But this is Gavin's last place.
Greg.
We've got 1 diamond, 1 heart,
Okay.
and that's on the list.
Good at guessing this time.
Man. Okay.
I like the synthesizers, and this one, when I actually listen to it, it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of a catchy chorus, as catchy as it can get on this album. So pleasant atmosphere. Still not a good song. C minus, D plus. Technically passes, as this is a song,
Technically a song.
and so that's my number 2.
Yeah, I don't remember how this
Yeah.
one goes.
It's the one that with the that synth loop in the back.
Really happy synth loop.
Yeah.
He's got.
Is that the one? He's like, I'm always on your side.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Ever in your life.
It's the one that sounds like a Future Embrace reject. Like-
Yeah. And so
And you
Future Embrace
liked
was
that
a better
more than I
album.
did.
Yeah. This one. Well, this also sounds like.
Okay.
This also sounds like the one where he joined Coldplay.
that makes
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would be a great
Can-
Coldplay song.
I took a
great, I
very
mean,
what I
okay.
think is a I took what I think is a profound note about this song, and I would like to read it to you. More like 1 diamond, 1 heart, 1 big old fart.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I did not guess you were going to rhyme heart with fart. That was. Whew, I'm glad
Yeah,
I
you
was
want to
sitting
see
down for
what
that one.
Billy rhymes in this song? We got hand, stand, help, side, light, side, fight, night, side. I'm just reading the last lines of all the, lost and
Yeah.
cost,
Fucking bad.
Trust
baby,
and love,
baby's
that don't
first
even
rhyme.
yeah.
Ace Frehley song.
Did a middle schooler write these lyrics? I'm just like trying to figure out what happened in the. Well, I
now
like.
we
Gavin,
Sorry.
I like that both of our brains went in the fart direction for songs on this album. We both felt this album is very gassy.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Maybe Billy's the kind of guy who likes getting high.
Are you
He
just
would
quoting
like to say a
Dictators
word.
lyrics now?
He would like to say a word or two about the girls we all
Oh my
seem
God.
to know.
Come on, get your feet wet.
And
Yeah.
the Dictators were dumb on purpose.
Come on, get your feet wet.
Oh man, is he ever gonna cover Torpedo Girl?
Honestly, that would be
I don't know.
I don't know.
that would be peak of the Pumpkins catalog if they covered Torpedo Girl.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Bonus points if they somehow made it really angsty sounding.
Well, we should do one of those online campaigns like how that girl got Weezer to cover Africa by Toto, but we're just really adamant that it must be Torpedo Girl.
I mean, Billy
Has
Corgan
to be
definitely knows that song.
Oh,
So what you're saying
Billy,
is,
please.
So what you're saying is, by the end of the day, we're all going to be blocked on Billy Corgan's Instagram.
Yeah, I was
Or having
actually just
made
trying
a
to go to it,
suggestion.
but I don't.
We were talking about Oceania and deciding it wasn't a good album, and all your best stuff was from the '90s. Cover Torpedo Girl. I guess. I think there's no way he would be upset with that.
Yeah, I think that would work out fine. While we're slinging hot takes, it's my opinion that Africa is the band and Toto is the song.
I bless the rains down in Toto.
Toto.
Yeah, I think I probably should have moved this down.
Yeah, you should have.
But I know why it's above Violet Rays. And because in this song, he says he's going to be by my side. And in Violet Rays, he's threatening to kiss me. But I think Violet Rays is a better song.
I mean, I agree with Gavin or with Greg that the melody is not the worst. Like the chorus is like okay.
It's nice.
It's nice. The lyrics do make me more depressed on it. Like it's so earnest.
Yeah.
And it makes me deeply uncomfortable to think about Billy trying to be there for me when I'm feeling down. Like it makes me just so upset to think about that. Like I moved this song way down because I just couldn't take it.
Like imagine if Chris Martin was singing it though.
Yeah,
that'd be a pretty big difference.
If Chris Martin was singing it, I'd be horny. But unfortunately, we've got Sir Patrick, who's
Sir whines a lot.
It's like I'll be there for you. And he's so whiny and wimpy.
He's like Draco in My Immortal.
He's my Draco. Like I'm so depressed.
When are we doing our dramatic read of My Immortal for the podcast?
He's so sensitive and bi.
He's so sensitive and bi in this song, which should make it great. But like, aren't bi guys like so hot? This is really going off on a tangent.
So who's the old wizard who bursts in and shout, "What the fuck are you kids doing at him?"
What the hell are you doing, you motherfuckers? It was
That's Jimmy.
Dumbledore. Dumbledore.
We got to get through with this album ranking because there's MCR is playing a concert in Hogsmeade right now.
Like they just announced this concert in Hogsmeade. We gotta go, but it's actually going to be Voldemort and Death Dealers. Oh man, I forgot to mention that I'm a diehard My Immortal fan. I've read it like certainly
I've never read it.
More than 15 times.
I never read it. We can do a dramatic read and have me experience it for the first time. with
Oh
all
God!
of you.
Okay, we
Yes.
definitely have to do that. Yes, yes. We'll table this discussion for later.
That idea single-handedly cleared up my hangover.
Yeah. Also, it made me forget how sad Oceania makes me because now I'm happy thinking about Draco Malfoy and Vampire Potter and all my other good friends.
Steve, did you comment on One Diamond, One Heart?
I might have. It's the chorus is kind of catchy. The alliteration on "lovers as lonely as lanterns lost" always catches me up. I'm like, oh, that just sounds real cheesy there, Billy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, any other comments before we move on?
Song bad.
This song is a
Oh,
fart.
bad.
This song makes the cut, and I should have ranked it lower.
Oh, this song didn't even clear my B-Nips barrier.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah,
the
this is
first time you listened to it, you were somewhat warm on it.
No, I was teetering. I was on the fence where I was like, I appreciate the sentiment behind this song, but everything about it is stupid. But the melody is kind of nice. And then the more I listened, the more the horrible reality set in that this whiny bitch was trying to tell me to smile. He was telling a woman to smile. And I thought that was really sexist. So lost all the points for sexism. This song is canceled. Thank you.
He's basically
Lovers
Fred
lonely as lanterns lost. You'd be prettier if you smile.
Also, can you name 3 songs by that band on your T-shirt?
Get over here, sugar tits. I'm Billy.
Let's go to my house and watch Red Letter Media.
hey, no, come on. I love Red Letter Media.
That was a victory. That was
No, come on. RLM's fan base, yeah, they're really terrible, but their actual videos are really good.
No, I understand. As a guy who likes Naruto, I understand how terrible the fan base is, and how just like a toxic group of people cannot realize how great the art they're consuming is. So I get that like Red Letter Media is good. That doesn't mean that most of the fans aren't terrible.
Oh yeah, no, I had to leave the Red Letter Media Facebook groups that I was in because it was just not,
Weird how the dudes whose whole shtick was like long-form criticism of popular films occasionally interjected with random violence against women for no reason attracted the toxic fan base.
Yeah, weird how that worked. Especially when it was Star Wars films.
Also,
Right?
it's like their whole thing is like, what if we did Mystery Science Theater 3000, but worse? Just like not like let's try to be them, but not have any of the kind of like playful nature that MST3K has. Like, what if we were just kind of shitty? Weak.
I mean,
But I mean, I don't think their videos are horrible. Like I've seen them.
I pretty much enjoyed every single one I've watched.
I liked the games that they play to pick like horrible movies to watch. Like I think they have some fun things that they bring to the table, but there's also some other parts about it where I'm like, I see.
Oh yeah, no, there of course there is. I do.
They're sexist. They told me to smile. They said I'd be prettier if I smiled. They said that in a video.
When Rich Evans covered Pinwheels, it was once.
They told you to smile, and then they like rhymed side and light a bunch of times.
Yeah. And then he read me like a Dr. Seuss book. I was like, what's happening here?
This next song would be pretty if it smiled more. Next up, we've got Steve's least favorite song on the album. Oh. So Gavin gave it 11 points. Next up, we have Quasar. Next on the list.
Whoa.
Quasar?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's Quasar.
Quasar?
Yeah, it's a.
I've never had to say it. I've only had to read it.
Quasar.
Someone's never traveled through space.
He didn't spell it weird. He just took a word that exists. It's like, this song's called Quasar.
Right on.
It appear to not be about Quasar in any way.
No.
I ranked it 4th from the bottom. Did someone just leave the... Oh, you just added something to the chat. Okay, I'm not going to... That's so my computer doesn't crash.
Okay. Everyone else should, though. And not tell Greg what it is. Okay. But tell the audience.
Yeah, somehow.
Okay, so I ranked this up.
Oh my god!
I made it. I made a petition to make Billy Corgan cover Torpedo Girl by Kiss on change.org.
That's beautiful. So this So you know how every classic rock band, they will eventually do a revival era where they'll try to get back to their classic sound, and they'll write the most mediocre riff rock sound that's like, hey, it sounds like our old stuff. Isn't that kind of cool? But the song really sucks. This is the Smashing Pumpkins doing that.
So this is like, their revenge?
Worse than that. This is just a very generic sounding song with really nothing to offer. And it
so it's revenge, most of that album.
Most of that album. But, like, Revenge at least had, like, highlights like Unholy and Take It Off.
It had Unholy.
Come on, Take It Off is a masterpiece, especially with that Pot of Thunder episode you heard. He's circling the block.
Yes.
Like, lyrically,
the Pot of Thunder episode is lovely, but
the song itself, I would say, is great also. I think it's got a great Paul Stanley vocal form. But this song, like, it's got nothing. This is just generic Pumpkins and generic late period Pumpkins. So I ranked it fourth from the bottom because I remembered it a little bit, probably from the advantage of it being first on the album, me hearing it so many times. So that's why I probably ranked it above other songs, but it's not memorable. Steve, you ranked this lower than I did. Why is this worse than the critique I'm giving of it?
Right. So this song basically ruins the album right out the gate. I get what they're going for. Like, Greg, you're describing this. They're trying to go for like that classic sound. Like, you put in Gish and you hear the drums leading into the bass riff, and you're like, all right, great, we're off to the kick-ass start. You put in Siamese Dream and you hear the drums leading into the guitar riff of why am I spacing on the name of Cherub Rock? And you're like, yeah, all right, we're getting into this great song. You put this one in and you hear the drums leading into the riff, and you're like, fuck, why did I put it in our RHCP album? why is there Red Hot Chili Peppers in the Smashing Pumpkins case? And then the rest of the song's going like, okay, that isn't that terrible, but why is this Can't Stop? Whose idea was this? And it's just like that just like immediately tanks the entire. I listened to this album backwards actually. Somebody on the Smashing Pumpkins Reddit subreddit this week was like, ever tried like sequencing one of the albums backwards? Like there's such, I forget which album he referenced, but it was a rapper did the special edition of his album was sequenced backwards. So I listened to this album backwards. I was like, yeah, it was damn. Yeah. And I was like, I listened to this album backwards and was like, wow, this is better. And then I got to this song. I was like, oh, this song still sucks. Damn it. But I've been listening to this mediocre album for an hour first. I just like, it's, yeah. And there's these gibberish, pseudo-religious, pseudo-philosophical lyrics. Where he's like,
well, no, it's spiritual, but not religious, these lyrics.
Yeah. No, they're agnostic.
Here's the thing that you guys are discounting why this song is so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The lyrics of this song are a comprehensive list of every major deity and then their favorite Pokemon. And it just so happens that all of them agree that Rhydon is the best Pokemon.
I might have to bump this up a few spots in the ranking.
Well, I put it in the right spot then, didn't I?
Yeah. I think this song is so dumb that I like it. Yeah. Like, every time it starts playing, I'm like, this is dumb as fuck. I love this. Right on. I'm like, yeah, keep telling me.
I will.
Yeah, I will ride on, Billy. Thank you. What? Why did you do this? Like, it's so stupid. I love it. I like this one just for that. Like, it is so funny. Every time it starts, I'm like, here we fucking go. Oh, it's good. It's right on.
Yeah, we quote this one a lot too.
Yeah, this one's quotable. This one's magic.
I mean, I've run out of things to say about it. If anyone has anything else to add.
Yeah,
I basically just had that joke.
Yeah, I think that joke was worth it. Right.
This is my number 3. I had this in my top 3 right at 3, and it's this and one other song on this album sound like they could be weird jams in the middle of Silverfuck. Like, you know, those big long versions of Silverfuck where there's like weird jams in the middle and it kind of, you know, da-da. This song is one of them. This song, like, they could have gone into it in the middle of Silverfuck. So it reminds me of that enough to where I'm like, oh, I like Silverfuck's a good tune. Yeah. Yeah, ultimately, it's a boring song. And in my notes, I wrote, "Jimmy is more than hands. Jimmy is heart."
Wow.
I was wondering what
Jimmy
your
is love. Jimmy is life.
Jimmy is love. Jimmy's life.
This is Jimmy's swamp.
I was wondering if you were going to have any Jimmy specific notes on this one.
Oh yeah.
I guess you probably in your day-to-day life have Jimmy specific notes just about everything.
Pretty much everything. Oh god.
Oh, Jimmy would love this Subway.
I miss him so.
I broke my yolk on my fried egg, Jimmy. No, don't be angry, Jimmy. Don't be angry.
No, I can't open this jar. I wish Jimmy was here. Jimmy opened the jar.
Well,
Jimmy, he's so useful.
How many drummers does it take to open a jar?
How many?
10, 9 to do it, and 1 me saying I miss Jimmy.
I wish Jimmy was here. What would Jimmy think about the light bulb being out?
If Jimmy was here, he and I could hang out and talk about how much Pinwheel sucks because he wouldn't really be on it.
Yeah.
Jimmy would understand.
That's one thing that Jimmy and the rest of us all have in common.
Yes.
Yeah.
We weren't pinwheels.
Yeah,
And
we're not on
both-
pinwheels.
You both eat world.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so I feel like we've beaten this into the ground. So that's it on the list. Steve and I put this in the exact same spot.
Yeah.
We both gave this 10 points. So Violet Rays, and that's on the list.
Wow.
This is the horny one.
So this is
It
not a good
is.
song.
No.
But I really like the keyboard intro because it kind of sounds like something from Donkey Kong Country, and
Yeah, it does.
that's why I ranked it as high as I did, just solely
Okay.
for that. The song itself
Valid.
is actually not good, but
It's actually that he was playing a whole bunch of video games and like just getting increasingly frustrated and horny and lonely. It was like, I'm playing all these video games. I need to record an album about it.
if actually this song didn't have guitars and was just based around the synths and that sound, still kept the bass and the drums and the vocals, this might be more okay. But yeah, it's still a bad song, but reminded me of a better video game soundtrack. So 10 points.
Yeah, I kind of like this one. It's if I were to do the 45-minute version of this album, this one would easily make the cut. It would be right in there and be like, oh yeah, this is a decent song. I do find the "I'll leave with anyone tonight" lyric to be like, oh man, that's so desperate and cheesy, but it is a good hook.
Yeah, but then he says he'll kiss anyone.
Anyone.
Yep.
That's a horrifying implication.
Because all of us are anyone.
It's true.
Whoa,
Gavin,
Victor.
it could be you.
It should be me.
He's so angsty and bisexual.
Yeah. Oh my God. Aren't bi guys like so hot?
Maybe pan, I'm not entirely clear. He probably isn't either, so it's fine.
This is a bisexual anthem. I should have ranked it higher. I
Yeah,
feel
damn.
stupid. I am Boo Boo the Fool.
As it should.
I think the opening soundscape of this is really great, and then the song is decent. But no hornies, Billy. No. Don't do that.
It's probably a little bit racist too, with him starting off with that lyric about faithless Moors. He's apparently really concerned with who's in charge of Spain right now.
Amazing. Inspiring. Wow. That was really good.
Great for the listeners at home.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if I got the second photo though.
So, do we have any other comments on this song?
It's bad.
Jimmy is hands, not heart. All of us are someone.
Yeah,
Oh.
anyone.
Anyone.
All of us are anyone.
I just so hate to think of Billy as a sexual creature.
Yeah.
You're my cum slut, bitch. Like,
And he is
Tonight.
and he is a creature.
Night to every sexual creature.
Do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
Get your feet wet.
oh.
Moist.
Moist.
God.
My cup runneth over.
We need to start a counter petition where we ask Billy Corgan to just cover a bunch of Bloodhound Gang instead.
One of my I occasionally play my own music at work because I want that sweet Spotify money. And one of my coworkers asked if it was a Bloodhound Gang song.
What? Which song?
I can't remember
Oh
which
my
one.
God, that's amazing. Cause a lap dance is so much better when the stripper's crying.
The way that you sang that made it sound like you were actually singing part of The Sound of Silence. And the lap dance is much better when the stripper's crying and funeral pious.
God.
At the sound of stripping.
I think we all know that the best song for Billy Corgan to cover would be "Why Is Everybody Always Picking on Me?" I guess that, like, we all know exactly why we're picking on you, Billy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're a fucking nerd who wrote Pinwheels.
I like a girl and I sit down to pee. No, it's not that one.
Oh, kiss Mother Moon. Why is everybody always picking on me? Billy. My Corgan impression is only getting worse.
It's really turned into the
Chris from
Coochie
Family
Man
Guy?
voice. Yeah.
Oh. I was doing a Seth Green thing.
Yeah, no, you are doing that. That's actually very accurate.
So good news, gang. We're halfway through.
Yay!
So
we're not to the ones that I'm gonna go all torpedo girl on yet. So
Nets Up is Steve's number 2 on the list. And I just pulled it up to remember what it sounds like. We got Glissandra next on the list.
So, full disclosure, I also can't remember how this one goes, but you know, it's an energetic and fun, if forgettable, song.
Definitely forgettable.
This is one of those ones that, like, on a good album, you'd be like, "Oh man, this is some real filler." But on this album, you're like, "Okay, stuff's happening, good times." Or at least that's what I'm like.
Yeah, this one has kind of a good groove and a good riff, and that's it.
There's a part where he goes la 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 la.
If you listen,
Oh
to
yeah,
some,
I like that part
Yeah,
actually.
and
Yeah, that
it's-
part's fine.
It's a 2 chords bit.
Yeah.
So it's good. Well, yeah, you should posit your theory about these 3 tracks.
Oh yeah. So Glissandra, the Chimera, and Inkles are all the same song. They put them all 3. Sorry, the Chimera, Glissandra,
that's right.
and Inkles are all the same song. So I get less forgiving of them as we hear the same song twice in a row, and then a third time as we move forward.
that's what makes it a chimera.
Oh.
Three
like that
creatures
song.
in one.
I just remembered something about Violet Ray's. Billy says, "I'm so easy." He's a little slut.
That's a little more.
Oh God. So I was just thinking about Easy Billy and all these
Easy William.
and all of these easy songs.
Easy Willy Pats.
Yeah, this song is not good.
My notes say, "Cool intro, Ahmed. Want to bring it to the White House?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it has the 2 chord section. The riff is nice. it's not the best of the same song he wrote 3 times.
I think I might actually have it as the best of the 3. Learning. I do
Speaking
think
of the
this
same
is the best
song
of
he
the
wrote
3.
3 times. Unless we have more comments on this.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't said anything about Glissandra yet, and boy, do I have a lot to say.
Jimmy.
I'll read you my notes.
I miss Jimmy.
Okay.
Yeah, this is too much like a drum machine.
No, I actually never. I never mention Jimmy in my Glissandra notes. I say it took Billy this long to write a song called Glissandra.
Yeah.
Because think about it, it fits perfectly. Melodori Magpie, Glissandra. You know.
Yes, it sounds like bullshit.
Yeah. And I said Tristessa, this ain't.
True.
Those are words.
Harsh words indeed.
Those sure are words.
Well,
Tristessa, this ain't. Craig would be either agreeing with me or yelling at me. I'm messaging him on Facebook to try and gather his thoughts about Glissandra, but no such luck.
I want to know what his thoughts are on this album because he was so quiet about it in the thread.
I know. I was
It's like
so
top
excited.
10 pumpkins.
Can have something good for us. Oh, the other thing about Glissandra is
like Pinwheels?
when I
like this
googled,
band, right?
I was trying to look up the lyrics to
Oh my
Oceania because I was curious. And it came up with the lyrics to Alejandro by Lady Gaga, but with Glissandra instead of Alejandro.
They're pretty much the same.
my name. Don't call my name. Glissandra.
Like, it was so fucking weird that like that was genuinely the first thing that popped up when you Google Oceania lyrics. That's just there. So every time I see Glissandra, I'm like, yes, the Lady Gaga song, of course.
Well, you know,
Right.
there's also that great ABBA song. There was something in the air that night. The moon was bright.
Glissandra.
Glissandra.
I was literally watching Mamma Mia this morning.
Fuck yeah.
I bet
Good.
you were.
Fernando goes the fuck off. There will never be a bad time to listen to Fernando. God, I wish that Fernando was on this album instead of Glissandra.
Well,
that would be something.
Yeah, because the Pumpkins and ABBA actually did a couple songs. So do you remember Glissandra?
Wow. There was something in the air that night. Billy?
Glissandra to
Dragula.
kick through Tristessa and burn through Glissandra and slam in the back of my mayonnaise.
Slam in the back of my mayonnaise. Oh boy. Oh boy, that's
Wow.
oh
I didn't
no.
realize how easy this guy was.
Oh, he's
Oh,
so
boy.
easy.
Oh.
Maybe he knew that we were gonna come bully him for this one, and he's like, "I'm so easy. I'm the easiest little target there is."
Why is everybody always picking on me?
Oh man, I just thought of a really good joke I should have used on Pinwheels, and I lost it.
Do it and edit it back in. Say it.
I'll edit. Okay. More like Bullet with Paul McCartney and butterfly wings.
Whoa! Yes.
It'll be a smooth edit.
Seamless.
Any other comments on Glissandra?
Tristessa, this ain't.
La 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 la.
Nessum is the Chimera.
The Chimera.
Yeah, the Chimera. Good guitar tone and actually some fun riffing throughout. Like good guitar play on this one.
Yeah. If I put this together, if I fixed this album, it would be 45 minutes long, and it would be a Zwan album, and this would be like the anchor single.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty bad that this is the anchor
because-
single, but you know you work with what you got, I guess.
It's got some good melodies. The whistle past the land lover, and you know, if I'm wrong, I'm right. Whatever that means, Billy. But it's catchy.
Yeah, I mean it's as catchy as this album gets.
And it's guitar forward, you know, which is the, you know, Billy fixing his stupid mixes with the parts that sound good. Yeah, I like this one. I ranked it third from the top. No real complaints against it, other than like it's more of a Swan song than a Pumpkin song.
Well, you realize
because
that
they're totally different things.
Very different.
I mean, they kind of are. Zwan
One of them is a
Zwan.
guitar-forward band with Billy Corgan and Jimmy Chamberlain,
right.
and the other
Yeah.
is a guitar-forward band with Billy Corgan and Mike Byrne.
And Major Keys. Oh, that was so mean.
But you realize that this was the lead single for a Zwan album. It was from Zwan 3, This Time It's Dumb,
Oh God.
which is also the only note that I wrote for this song.
Oh, this one's the one that got your
Zwan
dumb
3,
note.
This Time It's Dumb.
Ah.
That got my what?
Zwan
Your
Hard
dumb
with a
note.
Vengeance.
I just want to know. I like knowing which songs you think are dumb.
Oh, this one's dumb. And this this
Yeah.
one's way below the pasticcio barrier. Actually, no, this one is just below the pasticcio barrier.
The Pisticcio
I think I was so
barrier?
proud of the
Pistachio
pasticcio
barrier.
No, it's a sticky barrier.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, does anyone have anything else to say about this one?
My notes. Oh, go ahead, Gavin.
Oh no, you do your notes. I just have a joke.
Oh, my notes are all jokes, so
Okay.
doesn't matter.
I have a non-joke. I take this seriously. All I said for this song was like, I like the guitar, and then that's it. That's all the song has to offer. It's like, I really hope you like this because this is the song, and then it just keeps going. I'm like, oh, okay, it doesn't go anywhere. That's fine too.
This reminds me of that song that the Dead Milkmen and Smashing Pumpkins did together. Do you remember that? You guys ever hear that song?
No, I.
Punk Rock
Go ahead.
Chimera?
Bitchin' Chimera?
So, Victor, do you have anything to say?
Oh, he's ranting about Western Europe again in this one. Fairy tales and time in Wales.
Oh, I thought it was Fairy Tales and Tiny Whales, which I liked very much. I got to move it down.
Tiny
I thought that he just was a little too into Shamu and Free Willy.
No, he's talking tiny whales. He's just talking shit on various, places in the UK. Be like, what? You call that a country?
I thought he was making friends with whales in a sex way.
He did say he would kiss anyone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That
So he was-
anyone
he was-
includes whales.
He was hanging out with McAfee at this time, huh?
Does just John McAfee?
All right, so I have a confession
Yes,
to make.
John McAfee.
Oh,
well, no, John
You
McAfee
love
himself
Shamu a little
doesn't
too
have-
much, Greg?
Well,
doesn't have
it has to do with whales. When
You
back
kissed
when
a whale?
no,
And he liked it.
back when I was on dating websites, long before I was happily married, and I saw the abbreviation BBW. I thought it stood for Big Beached Whale.
But John McAfee doesn't have sex with whales himself, but he hangs out with and respects people who do.
Oh wow!
He's tweeted about this, his thesis statement being like, look, that thing outweighs you 20,000 to 1, and you're in the water with it. If it wants you to die rather than have sex with it, that's what's going to happen. These whales are consenting, guys.
Finally, somebody is saying it.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that's. I want to be on record that I think that is horrible as well.
Yeah. Wow. I now want to make another petition to make Billy Corgan make that guy stop.
Please no.
You'll have to
I
get his feet wet to do it.
Oh.
Yeah, Victor, you had jokes, right?
Yeah. My notes are, I understand the need for this track intellectually. And then basically after every single sentence after that, I write the words, so not a complete loss. Well, one of those was negated because I just found out he doesn't say tiny whales, which is a bummer because that's like the best thing about the song. Yeah, this one's fine. It makes
This
my
is
cut.
fine.
But it would be, I guess, the worst song on the album.
Babe, don't leave me. Please, Free Willy.
Speaking of mediocre at best material,
Oh, boy.
Next up is Panopticon, the worst convention I've ever been to. No, wait, no, that's still MTAC.
Wait, did you actually go to a convention called Panopticon?
No, that was a joke.
Okay, I was about to say, that would be an impressive name. Like, yeah, we just sort of named our convention after, surveillance state prison. Yay!
So this is what, the second song on the album. It's like, hey, here's another kind of rocking pumpkin song. Slightly better than the first song, but still not actually good.
Yeah. This one was very much like a song they didn't actually write, apparently. They just sort of started noodling around on a riff. I'm like, yeah, this riff is good. And let's
You
make
don't
this.
say.
Yeah.
I am shocked that this one wasn't like a well thought out, constructed song, and it was just them randomly riffing and dicking around.
And it's bold of them to
no.
start the album with 2 tracks of that, right? Because this comes right after Quasar.
Yeah.
So it's like, and this also is the other song that sounds like it could be the middle of a very bad live version of Silverfuck.
Oh.
But did you guys know that there's a sun that shines in?
Have you heard about this?
No one's told me the good news.
I like it, but I don't disagree with anything that's been said.
Well, the thing with this song is I think it is the indicating track that tells you what you're going to be dealing with for the rest of the album in a lot of ways. Again,
Yeah.
in terms of like the complete lack of like dynamic shifts and energy variance, like it just is the same from this song on, where it's
There-
like, yeah.
There's a part
I
in
disagree with
Quasar
that
where they
to a
straight up
degree.
stop playing. That's a pretty big dynamic shift.
I think there's basically 2 songs on this album. There are the first 2 songs, which are just like big energetic rockers, and then the rest of it is just like these mid-tempo ballady numbers. So there's 2
Yeah,
whole
and it
songs on
just-
this album.
It just all blends into the background.
Great liquor store music.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a brilliant album name.
Great liquor store
Ah,
music.
yes.
Liquor store music.
Man, I gotta finish the one I'm working on so I can name my next album that.
Yeah, I have nothing left to say about this one. It's the second track.
I can't remember what it sounds like.
Yep.
There's a sun that shines in.
Oh, yeah, I hate that. Okay.
Don't make me suffer.
Yeah.
Fa-fa.
Oh, I'm turning him into Paul Stanley with my lisp.
People, don't make me suffer.
I really wish we had someone on this episode who really loved this album and could defend these songs, but
But Craig couldn't be here today.
I don't know. I don't think the songwriting is good on this. I just like it. I don't know what to tell you. I like how it sounds.
I want someone who thinks that the songwriting is good on this.
Okay. Well, we're almost to the ones where I'm like, okay, these songs are actually good.
I mean, yeah, we're in the top 4, so we're almost at the good
I hope this
stuff.
album starts to get good eventually.
So next up on the list, we've got Inkles. That's
Inkles.
Oh, come on. Too low.
What does this one sound like again? I'm pulling it up.
I don't remember this.
I can't remember either. But I do have wrong way put in quotes. So apparently he says wrong way in a very memorable manner in this song.
Oh, it's the one that's trying to sound like a Siamese Dream track.
And that's probably why I put it at number 1.
Oh yeah, this is the one where if you like sequence the album backwards, like it starts off with this is the second track, and like, oh, this is pretty good.
Yeah, that is a much better start to the album if you did Wildflower leading into this. Yeah,
I mean,
much-
Wildflower maybe not so much, but this one, yeah.
Wildflower is just like,
Shit.
whatever, here's the weird, intro before we get into the Ava door of the album.
Yeah.
It's got big plume energy from Pisces Iscariot.
Wow.
And the first line is "The stars are out tonight," which is a really kick-ass David Bowie song. So
See, this
you get-
is I'm trying to think of what mediocre song from Sonic Boom or Monster this is, and that like desperately trying to recapture that magic of the olden days, but not really succeeding.
Take Me Down Below.
No, because Take Me Down Below at least is ridiculously charming with those lyrics. I'm just like, how?
Yes, I know.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know of the album. Where among the diehards are like, man, masterpiece. They're back at it. But like objectively, it's still not actually good, and it's just a pale imitation of their past work.
A pale horse.
I see this more as the I'm the animal of the album, in that it's the only song
which is
that
also
is
bad.
like good.
No, that
It's
is
like,
also
all
bad,
right.
but that explains why you like it.
This song really does get harmed by the sequencing of the album, since it is the third song in a row that is the same song. So I don't remember this one at all. Like
It sounds like the other ones.
It sounds like the other ones. It sounds like Shimera, and it sounds like that other one.
Alejandro.
Sounds like Alejandro. It sounds like Shimera. And it's like there's nothing about it that stands out at all to me. Maybe it would help if I listened to it out of the context of the album, but even then, I think I would not listen to it.
Or listen to these lyrics though, right? The first verse.
Mm-hmm.
These are pretty standout lyrics and kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
The stars are out tonight, and what
Okay.
you need of me, you've got inside you. Just take me home. Take me home. Don't fight, but drive me home the wrong way. What the fuck?
Okay, what the fuck?
What is that? What is
Man, you're telling me that Smashing Pumpkins lyrics are bullshit.
Oh no, I'm not saying bullshit. I'm saying actively creepy.
Actively get in the trunk, babe.
Yeah.
Don't mind the ropes and the blood. It's fine.
You're saying
We're
Billy
going home.
Corgan is a little bit of an incel?
No, he's a very sexual being.
Yeah.
I'm a sexual being. Get in my trunk.
But he's saying that
Close
he
your
wants
eyes.
her to take him home. So he's like leading her over to her car, be like, it's all right. See these ropes and things like that? You need to slip this into my drink and then throw me in the trunk.
I've got zip ties and other fetish gear in the trunk, ready to go. I put it in there. I stole your keys earlier. Can you just put me back there? I'll do the rest. It's okay. Drive us on the bumpiest road you can find. I love you.
I literally said this to everyone in the bar. I will kiss anyone.
Anyone.
Surprisingly, not that many takers.
Anyone. Anyone.
Bueller.
Bueller. Will anyone please? I want to kiss anyone. I'll leave with anyone, really.
Just all the Yelp reviews is like, there's a pale, bald man in a dress who just sort of wanders around this bar and demands that you chain him up in your trunk.
And drive down the bumpiest road you can find.
But the drinks
Andy
are
loves
cheap,
you.
so 3 stars.
Yes. Guy got stabbed in the bathroom once, but
But not to me.
Other than that, my food was fine. I'm sorry.
Not to me.
Not to me.
So this song, until I found out there were lyrics, I like this one because it reminds me of my favorite Smashing Pumpkins song, Pretty Pretty Star.
Oh, that's a good one. That would be the number one on this album.
Absolutely. But it also reminds me of Stars, which is not one of my favorite Pumpkin songs.
But a great band.
I mean, I actually think great band and also great Smashing Pumpkins song. And actually, here, I'm going to throw Gavin a huge bone.
Oh.
Where
Let's
Boys Fear to Tread would be number one on this album.
Yeah, come on, Greg.
That's not a compliment.
Well, I mean, it would easily be number one on this album.
The other thing, I like how this one sounds, but maybe I would be really into Siamese Dream, apparently. And there's a part towards the end where he sings "The Stars Are Out Tonight," but then he goes into his little pervy falsetto. The stars are out tonight.
Oh yeah, I forgot that part was in that song. That's a cool part.
And this would have been a perfectly fine album closer.
Laura Ingalls Wildflower.
Now with
I don't get
50%
it.
more genocide.
So any other comments on Inkles? Oh, it looks like you have more comments on Inkles.
I like the solo as well. It's nice.
I genuinely don't remember this song at all.
The stars were out.
Gun to my
Wow.
head, Billy Corgan trying to put me in the trunk of his car so that I will put him in the trunk of my car. If he was like, sing Inkles right now, I'd be like, oh, fuck. And then I would be killed.
It's the bow, wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, that's that one.
That helps.
Again, I'll stop because I don't want the copyright robots to get
Right.
us.
Yes.
Yeah.
First we're kicked off Spotify, then Apple Podcasts.
Oh yeah.
When will the censorship end? Censorship of us taking other artists' work and using it as a way to ride off their coattails.
Also, we've now hit that point where I've put together what the top 3 are, and there are 2 songs up in there that should not be up in there, and I'm very upset with all of
that
you.
means my plan worked.
Oh, hey, speaking of the top 3, unless we have any other comments on Inkles.
Inkless is the best song on this piece of shit album.
I feel
Mega
bad for calling this album a
disagree.
piece of shit because, once again, the production's good, and there's nothing that's just out and out bad. It's just there's nothing that's good
Out good.
either. You're
Well,
right.
I mean, I on a very real level, I feel bad calling it a piece of shit because he probably worked very hard on it, and it's
Yeah, I mean,
easily sold 10 times more than any album I've ever been on has.
Right, like,
But,
it's obviously it's got good sonics.
What?
Mouth
Say it again, but
squeeze
slower.
mine hedgehog.
Anyway,
God.
next up is My Love Is Winter.
My life.
So,
is
Gavin, you can feel a
winter.
little bit better that this one didn't win.
Yeah.
This is another Coldplay song.
This is
Yeah.
This was very
I-
much a cream rises to the middle kind of thing. It's I guess a couple people thought it was pretty good.
I mean, 3 of us put it in our top 3.
Top 4.
Top 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I like about this song? I can remember it.
That's my standard too.
Yeah,
Oh.
and I like.
It helps that the title of the song is the chorus.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah,
why. Like you're like, oh yeah, this is the one that goes, "My love is winter."
Oh, yeah.
Being
So-
able to remember a song is a strong suit.
Yeah, like I think this one is one of the catchier tunes that this album has to offer. Like in an album that's again majorly weak because of how much all of it just blends in with each other. Like the few songs that do stand out are the ones that it's like, okay, at least there's something distinct happening here instead of the same song 3 times in a row.
Mhm.
But at the same time, the first time I heard this song, I was like, oh, they took the concept of Love Like Winter by AFI and said, what if we made this bad and boring?
That's fair. But also in terms of songwriting, this is one of the fastest times I've ever heard Billy get to a chorus in a song, where it's like 20 seconds in, he's already at the chorus, which is more aggressively pop than he usually goes for, which is kind of refreshing, especially on this album of all albums.
Blue starts with the chorus, and the name of the song is the second word.
And no, in general, like
Oh, okay.
like we're
Yeah.
in general, we're like starting with a verse and then getting to a chorus like
I
that
see.
quickly is not what Billy normally does. But yes, obviously songs that start with a chorus, that's a different scenario.
That'd be
This-
fair. You could do a Smashing Pumpkins song that starts with the chorus and still doesn't get there within 20 seconds.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Well, no, it starts with an intro then, Steve.
Yeah, I meant lyrically.
Okay.
This song is about a glory hole in Billy Corgan's mirror that puts his penis into Narnia. And there is a
Jesus.
very tired and very sticky lion behind that hole with very
I was not
matted,
ready for
stinky
this.
fur.
I was not ready for this.
Now, you can imagine that lion hanging out behind that mirror. It's been a long day. And on the other side, he hears a muffled kind of, and he knows that old Mr. Billy is back. And he hears muffled from the other side, "Sacred hole, there is no rest. My love is winter. My love is lost." And yeah, that's what this song's about.
And he
that
also
is
brought a friend
abysmal.
apparently from the bar in that there's love enough for both of us.
Yeah.
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 He's like, time you up, put me in the trunk, and then bring me to my magic mirror glory hole.
Yep. They say on a hot day you could smell that lion for miles.
Which is good that it's that Narnia is trapped in eternal winter. Then I guess.
Yeah.
That was just the White Witch trying to save everyone. Like, guys, this cat does not smell good.
I've never read a Narnia book or a Narnia movie.
There's
You've
not,
never read the movie?
there's not a lot of sex in them.
I have seen them, but I refuse to watch them with subtitles. No, I've never seen a Narnia film.
Those children's books by
Which is shocking because you pretty much
Christian
nailed it.
author
Yeah.
are remarkably non-sexy.
Yeah, I enjoyed Narnia. They're honestly they're better than you'd think they would be with how Jesus-y they are, and I think
Yeah.
that's the nicest way. Because
Yeah, I agree.
you know this, when authors try to be too Jesus-y, sometimes the world building just actually sucks. Like Narnia is actually good, which is why it's surprising. Like, whoa, you made a Jesus-y fantasy epic that didn't suck? How'd you do
Most
that?
of the time. Most of the time. Every once in a while, it'll dip into things like, well, the one sister who decided that she likes lipstick and boys doesn't get to go to magical heaven, though.
Right? Look,
Everyone
I mean,
makes choices.
Yeah.
Also, these dwarves represented the Jews, and they don't really get into magical heaven. They just sort of hang out nearby.
Yeah, I forgot about all the bad politics of Magic Heaven.
Muslims definitely don't get in.
Well,
They
no,
they are
Heaven
here to have
has a
poor waged on them.
Magic
But
Heaven
will
has a separate
Aslan
but
get to
equal
go to
place
heaven
for the dwarves.
because he's God, but he's a filthy, filthy whore.
Yeah.
Is that the lion?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we
imagine
talked
having
about
a-
Narnia more than the song. Do we have any comments about the song?
I want to watch the Chronicles of Narnia now instead.
This song is dumb.
This song is dumb.
It reminds me of Future Embrace, which I like. He doesn't threaten to kiss me in this one.
But he says
Which
there's
you also
love
like.
enough for the both of us.
That's true.
Oh, he's asking if we're looking for a third.
Yeah. They do an interesting thing in the first, I think, 2 times through the chorus. The chord progression is away, and then after the bridge, the chorus chords change, which I think is interesting, and I'm sure thematically relevant in some way. I guess the only problem is that the original chords are much cooler.
That's fair. Steve, did you comment on this one?
I'm trying to remember if I did. I might have. I have this one pretty well in the middle. I have a similar idea where I can remember it because the title of the song is in the lyrics, but it's not because it's particularly good otherwise.
So speaking of not particularly good songs, we're at the number 2 song on the list, and I am pulling it up to remember what it sounds like. Oh, right, I remember. Okay, so this is one of the ones with good lyrics, but it's still not actually a good song. So Pale Horse is next on the list.
Hey, perfect
Hey.
spot. This is where I put it.
That's where I put it, and I almost put it as my number 1.
I can't remember where I put it.
I thought this was going to be the one that everyone had in the bottom, and I had in my top 3. I didn't realize it was going to be
good.
Yeah.
Inkless. Huh.
Yeah, I like this one.
No, this song has one good part.
The musical riff?
That's exactly why I like it, Gavin. Yes,
Everything else is just kind of boring, and I just kind of go like, "When's it going to do the thing again?"
And then it does the thing again, and every time I'm all, yeah, this is great. I love this part. Like the rest of the song is super boring, but that part I'm like, yeah.
It's like that
It's like,
video of the little kitten who gets tickled, and then the fingers come up and the paws go up like that. The little surprise kid. Like when it's up, you need to do an edit where it's the up parts are the boom, gang, 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 gang. It'd be good.
Yes. Because that's your reward for listening to the rest of the song. Like,
Yeah.
you
I
get
like
to
that we
hear
haven't got
that
to any
part.
song that's good all the way through.
This song has a great chorus. What are you talking about?
Verse lane.
There'll be no long lost friends.
I mean, it's okay.
It's nice.
It's nice.
It's fine.
This would be work really well in like if you made another Scanner Darkly movie. Go in that.
So the song is much better on double speed. I will say that.
No, Greg, songs are good
It
when they're
turns into a
boring.
surf song.
I don't understand why nobody gets this.
No, if you
You probably really
make it
like
double
Eternal
speed, it kind of sounds like a mining level in like an RPG or something where you're hanging out with dwarves. So this is where the dwarves in Narnia would hang out when you speed it up to double. But yeah, it's still not good.
Pale Haas.
Pale Haas.
Pale
Steve, did you like
Haas.
this one?
I do like this one. I have it at like 6, but this is definitely one that would make the cut of the good version of the album quite easily. I think my favorite part is that if you go on Genius and look up the various compiled notes that people have from what Billy said in the album notes, it's like, this song is about death and loss and things like that. The pale horse is death. Like, no, the pale horse is drugs. Let's not lie to ourselves, Billy.
Thorazine.
Yeah.
The pale horse is those
Thorazine.
Rohypnals that you're handing out to everybody to give to you.
Please.
It's a very elaborate fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lyrically, this is the best song on the album,
It
probably.
is very much a concept album. This whole album is just like lonely, horny Billy trying to get abducted in a bar.
Yeah, I love this song. Genuine. No, zero complaints.
I like this one too.
It's just sleepy enough for me.
I mean, I think it's a really good song that would be made better if the album didn't let it down so hard. Because I think it would be a great, like, kind of chill track if the rest of the album wasn't also just kind of like a big puddle.
It is.
Like,
It is a bummer that it comes after, like, two really, really, really shitty songs.
yeah, like it.
So you're
it
saying this
deserves
album
a
needs the
better
James
album.
Game Boy treatment?
Yeah, I guess
Oh,
I am.
shit.
Oceania.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yes.
Or just Oceania with two eyes.
Oh yes. I'll make it look like the Twin Towers.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Just
Well,
like
then
the
I
Peter
also
Criss
gotta
album,
do,
One for All.
Yeah, and I got to do One for All also.
I feel like this song, to that point about it being let down by the rest of the album, I think it's the opposite. I think this is propped up by the rest of the album, because if you were to put this, I think, on any other Pumpkins album,
It would rate towards the bottom.
oh, it would be absolute bottom. It would
Like
be
this on Melancholy?
absolute, like below Take Me Down.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It would
I
be
disagree.
Taking Me Down Below, Take Me Down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like that great Kiss Smashing Pumpkins song,
This is
Take Me
huge.
Down Below.
This is how I went. Yeah, I disagree.
Yeah,
Or I
I'm
get-
sorry. You said
No,
that.
that song's by Poppy.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
get why
I
you guys are
disagree.
so wrong about this album. It's good.
You and
Yeah.
Craig can go live on Oceania Island.
We will
I feel that
on Oceania Airlines.
Yeah.
I feel bad about my criticism of this album because Billy complaining about people saying, "Oh, people only like my old stuff, and no one cares about the more recent things I've done." And I enjoyed Zeitgeist and American Gothic and like all the other stuff. And this is the first one where I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I get why people aren't into this one.
Yeah, it's,
Like, just write better songs, bro."
that's
It's
what
just
you were
this-
doing in the 90s. You were writing good songs, and as long as you write good songs, I'll be there for you, Billy.
Yeah,
And like
you know.
we can also acknowledge that it's really hard to write good songs.
Oh,
and
of course.
and sometimes you do it, sometimes you haven't, sometimes you don't. But there's no reason you can't,
Maybe what you should
pick
do,
yourself
Billy, is-
back up. Honestly, one of my big complaints with this album also is that it's like really pretentious and whiny. And he should just not do that. But it's funny that he's being whiny about how no one likes his whiny music.
Oh, you should
simply
check
don't
out
do
Poor Pumpkins.
Oh.
Because he has some whiny music that people very much like.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like you can be whiny and good, no question.
Don't
But-
I know?
despite his rage.
I don't get it.
Dot.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You figure it out.
That famous Victor catchphrase. You figure it out.
You figure it out.
Well, hey, gang,
I don't have the
good
brain
news.
bandwidth to figure out this joke. You do it.
Guys, we're at the #1 song on this album, so let's go through the ranking from the bottom to the top.
From the bottom to the top.
The rough
Like
position
a
Mike Byrne
pinwheel.
was put in, which honestly should rank higher.
It should. It's well, but no, but it's the unfortunate.
It's bad.
It's the worst thing. He was put in an unfortunate position.
Right. Then the Pasticcio Barrier, which also should rank higher.
Oh, a lot higher.
B-Nips, which also should rank higher.
I agree.
Wildflower, Oceania, Pinwheels, One Diamond, One Heart,
One big fart.
Cuser, Violent Rays,
Who's
Glissandra,
Ray, and why is he so violent?
The Chimera, Panopticon, Ankles, My Love is Winter, Pale Horse, but the best song on Oceania by the Smashing Pumpkins is the Celestials.
No, it isn't.
Three of us actually
It just
agree.
is not.
It is though.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it-
three people on the panel agree. Both, so Victor, Julia, and Steve all ranked this as #1. I gave it
didn't really
9
do-
points, and I don't really care. I pulled it up to remember what this one sounds like, and it's the one with that dumb Special K lyric.
Yeah.
I always
But I
thought it
mean-
was Special Case until I looked it up. I was like, oh no, that's way worse.
No, that makes it better.
I mean,
It's dumb. I like it.
This is the next morning song when he's like, do you want some cereal for breakfast?
Here comes the morning man.
Yeah.
My first note for this is I can't explain why this is bad. And that's kind of where that's about as far as I got critically with this song.
It doesn't have a sweet. It doesn't have a
That could be
sleepy
a good.
organ choir.
That could be a good quote about this podcast.
I did point out that he rhymes free with free in this.
Oh, he's a regular Fred Durst.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one of them is free as in beer, the other one's free as in liberty, so they're different words.
Ah,
He's just really trying to explain new to everyone. Guys, let me talk about open source.
yeah. Don't everyone jump at once to talk about how great this is.
It's a good
not,
song.
though.
Yeah.
It is benefited by the sequencing because the first two are more energetic, and then this one it starts lower down but is still fast.
Yeah.
So
And then it builds up the dynamics, like it, more instruments get added to it, so it gives
Yeah.
more energy to it, crescendoing actual dynamics.
I really like the way it builds. Yeah.
Got a real flow to it. Like that, the way everything drops out in the second verse to just bass. I like that
That's-
part a lot. That part rocks.
and then
It rocks by not rocking.
yeah,
I also find it to be really catchy.
rocking
like,
by subtraction.
Right.
Like I think this song is catchy. I like the melody. I like what's going on here. I think again, yeah, it is like one of the only songs that has a dynamic shift in this whole album. So it really stands out for that reason, and I like that a lot.
He also says on the day that you were born,
One.
which is good.
On the day that you were Bjorn, that's one of the
Oh,
Ah,
and I should have looked these up. This was the song where I wrote down my joke about it being Darcy or John Beauvoir.
I like the
I-
lyric, I'm
you
going to love you 101%.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Like-
lyric is very silly.
Barely more than like
yeah.
put
I'll
in
love you a
extra
little
effort,
bit
but not-
more than the fullest.
well, that's because Gene Simmons was actually the bassist on this track. He helped co-write it too.
Oh my God! Imagine if he was doing the backup vocals.
I mean, he's actually a very good. I mean,
I
he can
mean-
do really good backup vocals. He's
No, I'm saying that
Oh,
would be
yeah.
awesome. That like my only knock against this song is it doesn't have a sleepy Corgan choir.
yeah, it's true. Actually, this one could desperately use a Sleepy Corgan choir.
Simmons would go to Billy's Narnia glory hole with him.
Yeah. He never took me to the Narnia glory hole.
You should have just like called up Gene and been like, "Hey, check out my magic mirror."
And then Gene would have wrote a song called Magic Mirror.
Magic mirror.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Gene probably wouldn't get invited to the magic mirror, and then he would write a song about it anyway.
Exactly. And then the magic mirror would get pissed off at him.
But then be like, but you know what? It's still catchy, so whatever.
He'll never get to smell the stinky lion now.
Oh God.
Smell the Stinky Lion is my favorite. Oh God damn it! I dropped it. The
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap
Oh, good.
album.
Okay,
Yeah.
I read your mind.
That's funny.
Everything I want is free, he says, trying to take advantage of this lion's generous offer. I don't pay for this. I'm a rock star.
It also has a bridge that I shouldn't like, but I do because of the synth sound.
Yeah, I mean, this album has lots of good synths. Oh, I like the opening synth. I think this album really, if not for these synth sounds, this album I might shove it down to bad territory, but at least the synths they're appealing.
He learned several lessons from the Future Embrace and forgot about the,
Writing songs part.
yeah. But like this album just sounds really good.
It does. It's very sonically appealing.
Which I guess is enough for me.
Can you say that again, but slower?
Sonically.
Oh my God. Wow. Is it hot in here?
Gotta
You guys
go
feeling that?
fast.
Yeah, I like this song.
You guys got any dead air you want to throw in here?
I have this one just above the Pasticcio barrier, but it's still not good.
Pastinkio.
Pasticcio lion barrier.
Oh God. I'm Pastinkio the lion.
They all be
Please
a
may I
real
pleasure
lion.
your hawk, sir.
A lion goes to a therapist and says,
I'm so sad.
I'm so sad. I don't have any sexual fulfillment in this life.
The therapist tells him he needs to go check out this glory hole.
Yeah, he needs to go check out Pastinkio the lion.
But sir, I am
And then
Pasticcio.
He bursts into tears.
and says, "I'm Pastinkio."
The doctor's like, I know, I could smell you before you even walked in here.
Oh, that's amazing.
So yeah, that's the album.
Yeah, sure is.
Wrap-up thoughts on this masterpiece of recorded music.
Not that good, unfortunately.
Yeah, a miss in the Pumpkins catalog, but it's a swing.
There's like a solid C+ to B- Smashing Pumpkins buried in this, but it's got a bunch of other cruft on there, so you just don't want to listen to it.
I
Agreed.
like it.
I didn't dread listening to this album the way that I have with some of the other ones that we have experienced together. And yeah, but it's not great.
Tristessa, this ain't.
Tessa, this ain't.
We
and
are
again,
all anyone.
if I had to choose between my tire exploding and ever listening to Pinwheels again, I'll take the tire.
Yeah, and my thoughts on this is that it's not a bad album, but as with often the case with late period albums by any artist, they're often mediocre but anchored by one or two like standout great singles. This just doesn't have those songs, and so you realize how bad those albums would be without the one or two standout great singles to anchor it. And that's the episode, everyone. Time for plugs. Gavin, what are you plugging other than that line in Narnia?
Oh, geez.
Well, I'm in a band called Bent Knee, and check us out.
I just
Neat.
purchased your album Shiny Eyed Babies on vinyl.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Thank you.
I ordered it so we could listen to it.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh,
Yeah, I'm very excited.
nice.
I sent my 11-year-old nephew a copy of Land Animal for Christmas because I figured let's corrupt the youth.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.
I didn't do anything to support you.
Oh, that's fine. That's totally fine. Yeah.
I didn't even go on your Twitch streams when I had nothing to do.
Well, I'll be doing one of those later today. So if you are listening to this,
Oh, I'm going to be
as-
so busy.
If you're listening to this 10 weeks in the
31st.
past,
Yep, 10 weeks in
My
the past.
Chemical Romance are having a concert in Hogsmeade right now, so I have to do that. So sorry, I can't do your Twitch stream.
I need to be scrolling on Facebook. I can't be on your Twitch screen.
I'll either be playing Doom or Quake 2.
Oh.
But yeah, no, hey, you got any stinky lions? Better wash them.
And Julia, what do you feel like plugging other than Sonic?
Well, by the time this episode comes out, I think I can plug the movie Metal Lords on Netflix, which I've spent the past 10 years of my life working on, I think, if my records are straight. Yeah, so that's a thing that will exist eventually sometime this
Presumably.
year. I've been told, I hope. But also I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Lady Celery. I had a viral tweet, so I'm clearly I'm a different caliber of human now.
What
And
was
I
your
think
viral
that my
tweet?
social media following should be huge, and so that everyone should just come on, hop on the follow train. Let's get this ball roll. I don't have time to be online anymore because of my job, but maybe by the time you're listening to this, I'll be on to some other movie experience. So yes.
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right, applause drops.
What was that viral tweet though?
It was about Bean Dad. Is everyone familiar with Bean Dad?
I was
I'm
there
not.
that morning. Yeah, of all the ways for the McElroy brothers or something adjacent to them to become Twitter famous, not like
Yes.
this. Yeah.
Like, holy shit, that was weird. So, I mean, to make a long story short, this dad got blasted on Twitter because he boasted on Twitter about how he let his 9-year-old be hungry for many hours because he wouldn't show her how to use a can opener. He's like, you figure it out. And she was like, I can't. And then he's like, you just figure it out. And then he did nothing to help her.
Yeah.
So I texted my dad and I asked him, if I was 9 years old and I came up to you with a can opener and I was like, I'm hungry. Oh, and a can of beans because that's all they had, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know how to open this and I'm hungry. What would you do? And he said, I would say you have a can't opener. And I put that on Twitter and it got like 200,000 likes almost.
Wow.
That's amazing.
The question is,
blew up.
how many times a day do you tweet a picture of a child playing a plastic saxophone with "Who Can It Be Now" on it?
Every time I hear the song, every time and that song used to play a lot more in my life. And this week it found me again and I was so excited because I was like, oh, time to bust open the kids with saxophones folder. Gotta bust one of these bad boys out. It was very good.
It's the underrated saxophone song.
Yeah, agree.
And Victor, what do you feel like plugging this week?
You can find me on twitter.com under the name The Victastic K. And I'm making music under the name James Gameboy on Patreon and Spotify and Bandcamp. And working on a short film score right now. So maybe this is our third attempt at getting this movie done. So I hope it gets done this time because I've actually started doing my part. Yeah, hopefully gonna get that album done this year. We shall see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Steve, where can people find our totally active band that still exists online?
They can find us at lipstickgeneration.com, which I was supposed to be spending this entire podcast making better, but didn't really. They can also find us as Lipstick Generation on various platforms. Also, by the time this album comes out, we will probably be in the middle of pre-sale for my side project, Regdar and the Fighters' is next album. So when you first hear this, you should immediately go purchase a copy of Repossess the Sky by Regdar and the Fighters. Or maybe it'll be Repossess the Sky Part 1. Depends on what people actually want to listen to. I'm still figuring that out. I am very organized and planning ahead and stuff.
All right. And clap, clap, clap. That's the episode. Bye, Internet.
Right.
Oh,
Thanks for listening to the Lipstick Panel, hosted by Lipstick Generation. Lipstick Generation's music can be found on all major streaming platforms and at lipstickgeneration.com. If you're listening to the podcast on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know your ranking of the subject in the comments down below. Feel free to leave us an episode suggestion also. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app, please leave a review and tell a friend about our show. Thanks and rock on.